In 1970, the World Wildlife Foundation did a survey of how many animals were on this planet. Recently, they redid the survey, and guess what they found? Over 63% of the animals that were on this planet have disappeared since 1970. We only have 1/3 of the animals left. Another study on insects in Germany revealed over the last 17 years that there's been a 75% reduction in insects in their national parks. Now, when it comes to the sea, the same kind of thing is happening. And in fact, science has recognized that there will be no saltwater fish left in the ocean by 2048. And we see all these changes occurring, and along with it, climate change. And people talk about climate change, of course, the weather is kind of strange, but we always focus on the fact that the melting of the ice caps is going to cause rising seas, and it's going to affect the planet. But people don't really recognize there's something even more profound. And that is, when climate change occurs, we cannot predict agriculture. We don't know when plants will grow to their fullest maturity, when we'll be able to harvest them, when it will rain, when it will be sunny. And all of a sudden, climate change is now threatening the food supply of this planet. NASA, a few years ago, had taken a survey of what was going on the planet and came to a conclusion that industrial civilization is facing an irreversible collapse, that we are now facing our own extinction. Interestingly, crises, as we experience them, are precipitating an evolution. And this evolution is changing our civilization. And if we look over the history of Western civilization, we find that there were civilizations that were here and have disappeared. We go back 10,000 years ago, and there were animists, the native people of the world, the Native Americans, the Indians in South America, the Druids in Europe. All of these people lived in a world of animism, which meant that spirit and matter were one and the same, and that living on this planet, you would honor both the material realm and the spiritual realm. However, animism faded away as polytheism came into presence. And polytheism, such as the Greeks, the Romans, Egyptians, what did they do? They actually took the spirit out of the individuals of the world, as the animists saw it, and coalesced these spirits into gods, multiple gods. A god of water, a god of crops, a god of stars, gods for everything that we saw. But it took spirituality out of our everyday world and put them into figurehead gods. Polytheism also faded out as a new belief, monotheism, came into being. Monotheism collected all of the spirit of this planet, put it into one god, and actually sent that god off the planet. So we left a time behind where everything was spiritual to a current time where nothing is spiritual, except God in another place. And after monotheism, a new and current civilization arrived, and that is called scientific materialism. And in scientific materialism is today's world, where we start to recognize there's a material realm and that we don't even need to understand a spiritual realm. We can live here with just understanding the physical, material nature of the planet. Well, as you can see, we've been through several civilizations, and we're actually facing the end of the current civilization of scientific materialism. A civilization has a life cycle. Like anything in the universe, a star is born, matures, and dies. People are born, mature, and die, and so does a civilization. And as a civilization is created, the first phase is like that where children are experiencing life, a developmental phase where we try all different kinds of things, try them out. However, as we mature, we begin to have very rigid beliefs about how the way civilization in the universe works. Now, there's an unfortunate part to that, because once we have a rigid belief, we're in trouble for a very simple reason. Nothing in the universe stays the same. Everything is always moving and transforming itself. So the reality of a rigid belief actually leads to crises, challenges that we must face. Not facing those challenges causes a civilization to actually go into decline and collapse. Well, today's civilization is surely facing the challenges. All you have to do is watch the news on TV, read the newspaper, go on the internet, or even just look out your window. And you can see that chaos abounds all over the planet. The significance about this chaos is that we are now recognizing we are not sustainable in the way we are living. It absolutely means we must change the nature of life on this planet. Human behavior is the source of the problem.